Control.
It is time for the
back.
credit sequence.
The
The
real
actual
credit sequence. Yes. They weren't screwing around that Courtney Hope provided the voice acting for Jesse Faden in order to ensconce us into the world as narrated and led. We have earned the Take Control trophy. It's the trophy you get for beating the game on difficulty. And in this part, we're going to be going through the credits and also starting the post-game section, because this game is not quite done with us yet.
Yeah, we
If
got
you left
mushrooms to go take care of.
If you left any mushrooms that have not yet been attended or talked sweetly to make them and assure them that everything is okay, the game is going to give you a chance to go back into the Bureau of Control in order to clean up the Hiss invasion once and for all.
So I know that this recording doesn't actually have the 100% ending, but have you gone out to go figure out if there is a 100% ending?
Of course there's a 100% ending. I mean, not that I know what it looks like, but I'm sure there's a cutscene attached. You know, the one where Dylan actually wakes up from the coma.
Okay.
I have not gotten 100% in this game. I decided to basically all but put this game down after I had finished recording it for the channel.
Okay.
Someday, maybe never, I will return to Control in order to fully appreciate what I could not do in the first place, because I had to use guide videos in order to make it to this particular credit sequence going towards the second half of the game.
That's a relatively short credit sequence. The hell?
No, it's a 7-minute long sequence.
We're looping already.
I'm not sure why it is looping already. Maybe just to make sure that you were paying attention. Not so much to these people, because some of these names I can't even pronounce for the life of me. That's because English is my main language, not Finnish, Scandinavian or otherwise. I don't speak Norwegian. Yeah. So, with comparisons to the Alan Wake games that we had done previously, how do you think this game holds up in the Sam Lotkey pantheon of character games that we have enjoyed so far?
Well, I most certainly enjoyed watching this more than American Nightmare. Although I think the narrative for the first Alan Wake game is actually slightly stronger. I like the sci-fi concepts here specifically, but I think that the thriller concepts explored in both American Nightmare and Alan Wake 1 were better fleshed out. Seriously, what?
Well, because these people were part of different teams and organizations, so the organizations are now...
Except Courtney Hope gets credited as Jesse Faden like 4 times already.
Right, because Courtney Hope played the voice of Jesse, Hedron, and Polaris.
No, she doesn't play Hedron, and Polaris isn't actually voiced, so...
Oh, yes, she is. Jesse Polaris.
Jesse Polaris is just Jesse Faden, just Jesse Faden doing lines.
Huh.
It's not Polaris' actual voice, mostly because Polaris and Hedron likely don't have their own voices.
They have no voices except the voices.
Don't have, what we would attribute to being voices.
Like personality.
They mostly have personality, but,
Hey, Luigi! Well...
I like this somewhat simple riff that we got going on.
Rock and roll, baby. Well, just like the old gods of Asgard had provided music for the latter portion of the game, going through one of the most fun you're going to have going through the campaign. I think that going through the Ashtray Cigar Maze is a freaking blast, and I enjoyed it while I was recording it. How this game holds up to Alan Wake... First of all, let's just draw attention to the elephant in the room. Both Alan Wake and Control blow American Nightmare out of the water. American Nightmare is like B-movie material at best. It doesn't even have the intelligence to put together a main boss character who uses a wider variety of motion capture actors and voice actors than just the main character, pretending just the alter ego of the main character. It's not that it's a bad game, The story is ridiculous at times. The story in these two games, Alan Wake and Control respectively, are much stronger standing on their own feet. They have much more content. The world is rich with lore and a lot of material that you will miss if you don't plumb every nook and cranny, and I do mean that literally, in order to drain the pipe of everything that these games have to offer. Fight mechanics hold up pretty well throughout, and Control is a lot more sophisticated fight mechanics because you can fly, you can use telekinesis. In Alan Wake, you had two main functions: flashlight, gun, and I hope I grab this ledge. In this game, you have a lot more dimensions to explore, both in the literal and figurative sense.
Are we going to explore any of the other subs?
Subs?
Yeah, because they're listing off all the other voice talent that's in the game, and Jesse Faden's got a different actress for both Spanish and German.
Well, of course, yeah. They have to give credit to everybody, because for all I know, the people watching this video were probably playing the German version of it. Take Control, performed by Old Gods of Asgard.
Live.
Hell yeah. Relinquished.
Spawn.
Devouring the devoted. Constrain.
Bink video.
So Alan Wake will always have a particular place of honor in my memory of playing games. I thoroughly enjoyed playing that game multiple times, especially going through the nightmare difficulty. Not so much, enjoying retrying checkpoint after checkpoint over and over again while we transition back into the main game world. You are the director of the Federal Bureau of Control. The crisis is not over. Your work is not done. You got a new hairdo. You got a new suit. You look like a boss. Ready to order people around and tell them, hey, quit screwing around. Think I want you eating chocolates on the company dime? No, sir. Search the dangerous depths of the oldest house for classified bureau secrets and hidden clues.
Okay. Can we get our normal hairstyle back, though? I don't like this.
Yeah, of course.
I don't like this tail bun.
And if you didn't like the original Jesse costume, or any of the other costumes that you find, you have a lot to go through. All you have to do is go to the Central Executive, and that will allow you to access the Grand Theft Auto clothing store costume change place. At no cost of points, you can go through your inventory and select whatever costume you so desire.
Their eyes will skip over us as if we weren't even there. The nature of the oldest house allows us certain freedoms in how we operate. Our being here is no accident. Regards, Trench, Director of the Federal Bureau of Control.
He's talking to us from the Force. We are one with the Force now. We're in control. Our hairdo is perfect. Makeup is applied accordingly. The very memorable red and blue.
Alright, so the first thing we honestly should go do...
Duh.
Alright, the first thing we should actually go do, aside from remembering that Shawshank Redemption's a good movie, is go talk to Pope.
You know what else is a good movie? Bruce Almighty.
I don't like Bruce Almighty.
How about prayer Post-its? How about Office Space?
Complaint.
They're everywhere. Please.
In case you are not aware, something caused a sticky note in my office to duplicate. My office is unusable now. I'll be working from home until this is resolved. You can reach me at my cell or home phone.
Yeah, I remember the duplication glitch from Oblivion. I also remember the paintbrush glitch, because the paintbrush is the only object in the game that did not have assigned gravity physics, so you could use it as a platform as long as you dropped it in a place that is conducive to using platforms. Oh, they're talking about me.
Yeah, they're much more complimentary than they were during the Hellscape mission.
Hey, Arish.
I never told you this, but I was actually on the path to being a ranger once. Did the whole boot camp thing. Even got rookie status. Anyway, not the point. My old ranger squad was a great bunch. There was 6 plus me. Remus, Hazard, Cho, Guy, Heptonstall, and Thompson. They were supposed to get back from an expedition
Aw,
yesterday.
we're not gonna get to meet Cho, are we?
Problem is,
Yeah, I love beer and wings night too.
Then they had nothing protecting them from the hiss.
you see, they prepped for the worst, but I think that we're already past that.
And also that we are wearing a new costume. Now, that costume is applied to these little one-on-one dialogues.
The squad would have come back through maintenance, but they probably spread out from there.
I'll keep an eye out for them, Harish. And I won't let them stay hiss.
See, every time Jessie is,
What are your thoughts?
you know, just narrating without moving her lips, that's probably Polaris talking.
I mean, look, don't get me wrong, Trench was fine, but you pulled us back from the brink. Well, I'm on your surf, man. I mean, fuck, shit. Phaeton.
Language.
He'll get it one day.
No, he won't. That is his one and only charming character trait.
That Darling was using the slide projector?
Salvador never did, but I doubt he even knew. Look, I'm well aware that it's our job to study and contain the things that we don't understand, but some of the
Because
things
we're the
we do
SCP.
go way outside of our mission statement.
Yeah, like getting naked and crying in front of a camera. Yeah. That was darling. Like making a music video using company resources and the sound engineer. That was darling.
Thank Christ.
Screwing around.
We're gonna need to overstep our own say-so eventually.
Any other fighting the armory?
All right, go talk to Pope.
Dream like hay.
No, past Cloud. We need to go talk to Pope.
Let's go check out some outfits. Yeah. Call me P7. Peace out, y'all.
Yeah, I prefer her civilian garb.
Garb. We're going to be using the P7 costume for a little while, because it makes me feel like an inmate inside what is effectively still an asylum. There are still things to do. We're eventually going to go and talk to Dr. Underhill and finally get the mushroom quest underway, but first...
You're gonna try and go get ground slam?
Levitation, duration, and... You just unlocked
The
slam.
ground slam. All right,
Ground
but you don't
slam.
really like using levitation in combat, so
Oh, yeah, yes I do, mister. It's one of the more fun ways to stay engaged in what's going on is, boom, you thought I was hard to hit on the ground. Try hitting me when I'm in the air, mister.
you're not gonna go talk to Pope, are you?
I might. Well, I gotta talk to the board. I gotta talk to Dr. Underhill. I gotta talk to my long-lost brother who's in a coma. I mean, I don't do much else during this part. If you had realized just as I did that there are a lot of areas in the game that you missed while you were going through it, well, now is your chance to take some liberty, a deep breath, and the knowledge that you have successfully finished the main campaign to just screw around, see what you can find. Let's try ground slam. Slam! Let's try it again. After I recharge my meter. Slam!
That is super
Not-
expensive, and
Not bad.
And given that we're on console, aiming it is going to be a hassle. Ugh.
I do like this little aiming right, but slam, direct hit.
Yeah, and your direct hit on it is only only takes on half of these mooks, when our launch would just outright obliterate them.
Well, I mean, you can. This is just basic slam. You
Yeah,
can,
I know.
You can
but,
get up.
but even unless maxing out ground slam effectively triples its damage, it's not going to be all that viable. See, even his rocket launcher is able to do more damage than our ground slam does.
So there are two ways to stop your enemies. Well, there are three ways to stop your enemies from attacking for a second, like stun, if you will. You can melee them. You can use telekinesis to throw objects at them, or you can use ground slam. The great thing about ground slam is that the area of effect is so wide that you can stun multiple enemies at once if they're all standing right next to each other.
I've not seen it do stun yet. I've seen it do knockdown, sure, but not stun.
Knockdown is stun. Stun is anything that stops the enemy from attacking for a second. Very important in this game.
But honestly, your launch is just a significantly better move, mostly because you spent like the entire game leveling it up. But still,
Yeah, and then eventually, as we proceed through the post-game, as we will, and should, because there's nothing else to do now except all the shit that we left behind, I'm going to get more meter. So having more meter will let me do more ground slam, more telekinesis, more dodge, a little bit more of everything, and also the ability to choose as I see fit. But just like the main game, you can still die.
you are not good with the gun. Oy. Be safe, everybody.